I'm Brian Sozzi here with Brad Smith at the Cannes Lions Festival of Creativity. And joining us now is Kraft Heinz Chief Growth Officer of North America, Diana Frost. Diana, good to see you.
Great to see you guys. Thanks so much for having me.
I was thinking back with Brad a little while ago. We have not talked to a lot of awards winners here. We talked to Kevin Hart. He won Entertainer of the Year.
Absolutely.
You and your team are an award winner at this event, which I think sets it up for the bigger things that are happening at the company. What did you win for? And what does it say about where Kraft Heinz is at this moment?
Yeah, I just couldn't be prouder of the team. And we've talked a lot about our transformation, and you've been such a great proponent of our transformation and what we're doing to lead the future of food. And future of food comes with connecting with consumers and changing behavior. And that comes with how we're investing in our brands and how we're unleashing creativity throughout all of Kraft Heinz. Last year, we came here with 28 shortlists. We're sitting here today with 83. And a number of wins under our belt from multiple different categories. And so the piece that I see is that's the beginning of the flywheel. To lead the future of food, connect with consumers, and fuel the investment.
What are you exactly winning for? What things are sticking out?
So a couple of things. I would say a lot of the majority of our wins have come from our global brand Heinz. Mm-hmm. One of the wins in particular was in the print and outdoor category on Heinz ketchup fraud. So one of the things we learned from consumers, which was quite an insight, actually not even consumers, we saw on social media that in restaurants, people were actually filling up Heinz ketchup bottles with the cheaper version.
That ain't right.
That's not right at all. Yeah. So I think one of the things that we saw with that insight and where the campaign came from was even when it's not Heinz, it has to be Heinz. And so that fuels and actually ties into the global platform of Heinz of it has to be Heinz.
I feel bamboozled, quite personally.
Absolutely. And it was happening
a lot of money
everywhere.
for those experiences.
Yes.
So what we need to know as well is what that sets up for your end-of-year spend as you look through the marketing budgets broadly that have been cut for many corporations at this point in time. What do winning awards like this do for you securitizing even more of that spend from the higher-ups at the business?
Yeah, I think it does a number of things, and it actually starts with the culture and the people believing in the transformation. Yeah. And we've been talking about that. So I think that it starts there. I think the second piece is that then fuels creativity, which then delivers on business results, which then gives you and fuels more investment. So as you're seeing a number of companies, as you said, cut investment, we're continuing to invest, and we will invest and increase year over year versus last year, almost in the double-digit range.
Where do you prioritize that spend?
To be honest, you pour fuel on the fire. Yeah. And so as we live in a dynamic environment with consumers, we're learning real time which are the channels that are working best on which brands. As you both know, we live and work in 55 categories, 35 brands. There are a number of brands that we will continue to pour fuel on that fire. For year-end, Heinz being one of them with the new global campaign we just launched.
Is mac and cheese still a growth business?
Absolutely.
How so?
If you look at quick with quality, one of the biggest consumer trends that we see now and is going to continue to actually grow over the course of the next 5 years is consumers want the quality with convenience. Mac and cheese plays so well in that. The other place that we saw a resurgence with consumers over the course of COVID is this idea of holistic wellness, which includes comfort food and food for the soul. Mm-hmm. So not only food for the body, but food for the soul. So you actually put those two trends together. We see a great opportunity in mac and cheese now and also in the future.
In the frozen category, Brian and I were getting a little nostalgic because we know how many times we'd go home from school, or even now perhaps too.
Yep.
And we just want to heat something up very quickly. And typically during a consumer spending downturn, or where dollars become a little bit more discretionary, even in the food aisles, consumers lean into frozen. Where have you seen that ring true once again? Where has that benefited some of the brands specifically?
Absolutely. Well, we were actually just chatting about this before the launch of Frozen Deluxe. So that's something you'll see from us. We've also launched
What's
Home
Frozen
Bake.
Deluxe?
Oh, Frozen Deluxe is deluxe mac and cheese.
Deluxe mac and cheese. Okay.
Deluxe mac and cheese. Yes. Get out and try that. I think the other one that you may have heard us talk about before is called Home Bake. Home Bake $4.25.30. So what that is multiple different mains, veggies, and sides that you can put in the oven all at the same time at 425 degrees for 30 minutes. So you think about this idea that we talked about of quick with quality. You cannot sacrifice quality for the convenience. And consumers aren't willing to do that anymore, and we're leading in hard into that trend.
This is still, I think, a mixed economic backdrop. We talked to Walmart's chief marketing officer and got the sense that they're starting to price in more rollbacks or price cuts in the second half of this year. Do you have to market more value-based messaging in your TV advertising, in your social media marketing, to connect with consumers that, in many respects, might be living paycheck to paycheck still?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important to acknowledge the environment that we're in. And I think when it comes to value, there is value that comes in price and accessibility. We are in 97% of households. And with that comes a responsibility for accessibility. But sometimes that comes in the form of price, but other times that comes in the form of value beyond price. You think about Channel Pack and the opportunity that that plays for the value with different size packs. You think about how consumers actually look at value, and they're willing to pay more for brands that are better quality. So I think the way we look at it holistically is, yes, value is incredibly important, and we know the times that are happening right now, but there's a number of things within our mix in terms of looking at both value, but value beyond price.
We've discussed a lot at Cannes this year about cultural relevance and how that drives even product marketing, engagement with consumers. How does Kraft approach that?
Yeah, I think similar to a lot of our peers, that we look at it as really understanding what's happening in the market through social listening. We have our in-house agency that we call The Kitchen. And really, that's living and breathing with consumers at the speed of culture. But it's also, how do we drive culture? So I think one of the things that you'll see coming out from Kraft Heinz is, how do we be part of conversations that are already happening, but also how do we play a part in actually driving some of those cultural trends from now into the future. But The Kitchen, the agency, plays a phenomenal role. We have 9 production studios around the globe that we've stood up over the last couple of years to be at the speed of culture, but have that as part of our in-house capability.
As someone working inside the company, Diana, I get the sense that investors don't appreciate the turnaround that is happening at your company. Where are you at, inning-wise, in terms of this turnaround? And what should investors know about Kraft Heinz today compared to 4 years ago?
I think the biggest thing is everything starts with ambition, and we've changed our ambition. Our ambition is to lead the future of food. I think the other piece that has changed significantly is the belief. And the only thing we can do is continue to go on the track that we've been on, and people will follow. It's consistency and consistent results. But that's not going to change, that we're going to continue to throw fuel on the fire, whether it's through marketing, through creativity, through innovation, all the way through the line.
Diana Frost, Kraft Heinz, Chief Growth Officer of North America. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by Yahoo Finance.
Thanks, guys.
Back to you guys.
All right, that was our Brad Smith and Brian Sozzi in Cannes with another great interview.